map, yada yada. Well, technically, no, because back when DAMWON was with GC Busan Spear, they beat T1 back when T1 was Ohammer. So boom, get your stats right, boy. That's what's up.
Jess coming in with the big brain plays right from minute one, and I love to see it. I'm here for it, Jess. We're going to be loading in very soon. We're getting our operator bands coming in, and DAMWON Kia, they get us underway. They take Jackal off the board. Now, we see a lot of Jackal played, to be fair, in APAC North, and Villa. I mean, Villa's a playground for an operator like Jackal.
Oh, goodness me. I mean, I also think about the fact that there's a lot of players that love to just run right around the map, especially if you're in T1. You want to do it. If you're DAMWON Kia, you also want to be able to move around freely. Yana ban, however, do I see a target ban incoming? Is this because we know that the roam clear for DAMWON Kia is likely to incur a Yana and a Gemini? Surely is.
And there's more valuable utility goes by the wayside with Yana as well. Very popular pick, especially since the frags have been available. So just bringing answers to all kinds of problems. Yana but banned away. Mirror and GOYO. What do you think about that GOYO ban there, Jess?
I mean, let me bring up the compositions here for T1 just to confirm my suspicions here. Because, I mean, the Jackal, the GOYO, the Yana, these are all very poignant bans. And you look at the compositions for T1, they almost always bring a GOYO on this map. Actually, think back, and you and I would have seen this, so is Des, I believe, as well. Was it coated on... Yeah, coated on the Vulcan shield with the TCSG suppressed 3K? Now, I seem to remember that very, very vividly.
It's certainly a standout moment. We're going to be heading into round one very, very soon. It's going to be Aviator Games to kick us off. So what can we expect to see from the attackers? Well, generally, we're going to have a north or south-sided push. Every now and again, you'll get a little hybrid where they try to put a bit of pressure on from both sides and create a pinch. But that's something for us to watch out for immediately in the round, is where those attackers spawn in and just exactly how they're approaching the building and where that push will come from.
Well, Coded won't have the Vulcan shields to work with this time. Instead, he'll play the Echo and have that deployable shield for main stairs. Don't think that's exactly where Coded will play, considering how very important those Yokai drones will be in the late round for an execution, should that even happen. But this is something we've seen from DWG Kia time and time again. Guess who's going to be sitting on those red stairs with barbed wire, banshees, ADSs, with live magnets around them? They haven't changed a single thing here, Ace. And if you are T1 right now, you know bread and butter what is going to happen, what their setup's going to be, because it hasn't changed a single bit.
And then the question obviously is, do they play into that, or do they just try to circumvent it? Do they think they've got the big brain and they've got the answer? Or do they say, you know what, you want to play the side stairs? You play the side stairs. You put all that utility there, because as we can see, we're coming in from the north side, so it's going to be largely wasted. The problem with the north side push, as we know, is it does come down to a funnel quite often on that northeastern door into Aviator. But we'll see how T1 deal with that as we progress. Now, Yeti getting aggressive on the Ash, moving straight in there. Control of Master Trophy, Statuary, Bathroom, Astronomy is all in the hands of T1 already.
And this is purely because of that dominance that Rin likes to have for DWG Kia over on red stairs. They've shifted that shield from main stairs over towards red to give a crossfire again to Rin. They've brought the Thatcher here to negate a lot of those magnets and everything else. This is the crossfire I was talking about, though. Rin can stay pretty safe up there if Coded has the crossfire over towards landing. Not sure where he peeked out and managed to get that kill. Can't particularly see the dead body, but it doesn't matter. It was definitely a crossfire in that direction. And for me right now, the big problem is Rin, but this is a story we've seen told time and time again.
T1 just trying to get aggressive onto the sort of 90 corridors, red stairs area, but as you say, the big problem is Rin, and they need to find an answer to that question very, very quickly. Otherwise, this entire attack is likely to stall out, and it's the sort of situation where we could see see T1 thinking about a rotation, but they don't want to play into all that south side utility that DAMWON have applied to the south stairs. It looks like they might have to, though, as they are moving out towards a potential for a study there. Now, Rin still locked in place on the eastern red stairs, still fighting, still holding the T1 attack at bay. 55 seconds left to go, and a lot of work to be done here for T1, but you can feel that the tension, the pressure, it's all starting to mount. There's becoming a sense of urgency within the round here. Katsang looking to make a challenge on it, will be courted, that finds the kill onto Yeti. 5 versus 3, and things not looking good for T1 inside of round 1 at the minute. They still haven't managed to move Rin off those red stairs, locked in place and completely holding them at bay. 11, Vamos, they are stuck on the north side here. They try to make a challenge, but Vamos flashes himself. It's a nightmare as Rin gets a double, and it's all down to 11. Shut down in a flawless round, and what a performance from Rin. That was Rin versus T1.
You say it was Rin versus T1, but guess who all kicked it off here for DAMWON Kia? It's the man known as Coated, and he's goated, and he will not let anyone cross Rin unless they're ready to go. My goodness. Can you imagine playing Jaeger on the red stairs? Mind you, we've seen Shaiko do this 100 times before, but being so patient. We saw Rin last playdate on Villa be a little bit fidgety. Kept peeking everything unnecessarily. ADSs and magnets weren't even cooked yet. Trying to take gunfights that were unnecessary. No one was really pushing them yet. This time, Coded said, got your cross, sit pretty on the red stairs, don't move a muscle. And guess how long was wasted? 2 minutes of the round. That is the most successful red stairs hold I've ever seen in my life.
Great combination play from those two there, absolutely locking out the round. So heading into round 2 then, we are looking at a DAMWON Kia early advantage, 1-0 on the board, and we're going to be heading over to trophy and statuary. So quite often you can expect to see a flip reverse of what we've just seen in the last round, whereby the push may come from the south side. But right now we've got DAMWON Kia. They are lining up strongly to withstand any push into Master here.
All right, this is the same setup again here for DAMWON Kia Ace. I mean, like, I hate to be the broken record here. It's only been 2 rounds, but these are the dominant bomb sites for DAMWON Kia. These are what they play consistently all the time. And that left line of sight over in triple wall is one they play almost every time. I can't remember that shield being placed directly there, so that might be a little alteration. That's the shield I'm talking about there. Thank you very much, Medic. So that might be a small alteration from the last playday where they played this exact strategy. But for the most part, Ace, it is rinse and repeat here today. And I mean, don't change what ain't broke. Because if they think it works, I mean, it worked in round 1 for red stairs. So this might work too.
Absolutely. If you don't get forced to move, then why bother? Just keep working at the same angles. T1, they are heading over towards the master and bathroom side at the minute, looking to get control. They will aim to get this partially reinforced wall open, potentially, and create some nice long lines of sight through sight. But right now, we're still in a droning phase at the minute, just trying to gather as much information as we can. And DAMWON Kia just reacting to that as they go, just deploying the gadgets that develop over time, like the Wamai magnets. Now, this could be an interesting little duel downstairs. We've got Katsang on the Malusi with a nitro in hand, so Katsang's going to want to stay downstairs for as long as possible. 11 gets in and nearly finds an opener, but right now, nearly halfway through the round, a little bit of a stalemate until 11 does get Yas.
The highest rated player in all of T1. He makes it work. Opening kill, and that is a really important one onto the biggest fragger in almost all of EUL. It is Yas. He has been doing absolutely insane in the ratings. He'll be knocked out early. Katsang in previous Villa matches has been throwing up C4s, but hasn't really been hitting targets. So I can see what Katsang's purpose is down here, and its purpose for T1, it's to go on down. 2-man advantage here for T1. This surely seems like a round they can convert into a win. Problem will be, if they get a little bit too overexcited about the man advantage, then things are going to look bad. And there you go. Coded says, I've got to turn this back in our favor. Thatcher's gone, but that's not a big loss. Wall's partially open, Ace.
Courted and Rin going well so far. 6 kills, 0 deaths between the two of them. Woogie Man just going to start smoking out that doorway from Master now to try and just put the brakes on this T1 advance. And Courted, once again, like a jack in the box, just pops up and deletes another player from the side of T1. This time it's Vamos who suffers, and that leaves us now with 34 seconds left to go. 3 versus 3, and this one is poised for an explosive finish because T1, they're going to have to get aggressive. They're going to have to do something, and they've managed to get Yeti established on the astronomy stairs. So this could be a bit of a pinch for DAMWON Kia to deal with. Rin deals with 11 as he tries to move into sight. That's a great headshot. 3 versus 2 now, and the time is ticking away. The sand moves through the hourglass and waits for absolutely nobody as Woogie Man deletes Revy, and that leaves us now with Yeti. 1 versus 3. He finds the first. Can he find 2 more? Absolutely not. Rin gets in on the party. They are having absolutely none of Courted taking all the glory, and this is a fight between those two to see who can come out on top for DAMWON Kia right now.
I'm worried for DAMWON here, Ace, because unfortunately their 2 top 4 sides in the last playday, where they put up a lot of rounds against a fearsome opponent, are being lost, or rather being won, but T1 are pushing it ever so close. I keep thinking that T1 are walking away with these races because of how close they're bringing it in the early round. They're not converting it into wins. Before my eyes here, I'm sitting here going, hang on, T1, 2 rounds behind? It didn't feel like that throughout those rounds. They were so close. DAMWON walking away. First one, very dominant. That one, so much closer. Should have been something that they were able to work with there. Get stolen away from them. Okay. I hate to be the person that points out the obvious here, but that return of man advantage was on the back of Courted. He's 4-0 at the moment. He's not what you would call the particular fragging role of Ren or Yas, for example, and still is so dependable.
The duo of Courted and Rin just being round to round so important right now for DAMWON Kia. 9-0. They need to be shut down by Team 1, and that is what T1 are going to be aiming to do here inside of round 3. This time downstairs we are looking towards kitchen and dining, so we have the shift in lineup that sees Katsang bring along the pulse. There's going to be a lot of information coming in from that heartbeat scanner. T1, I would expect them to be trying to clear out that top floor and get some vertical control.
Yeah, I mean, look over towards the attacking lineup. You've got the sledge there to work with. A little bit surprising Levin's got the Claymore, but that might be for the Astro flank, so no problems, no problems. And then, of course, Replica on the Thatcher. You got breaching charges there as well. So there is enough to work with here. And because Courted couldn't take the GOYO with the TCSG, he's now decided to take the only other operator with the TCSG. That's going to be Kaid, and you could hear it suppressed shooting in the background. I mean, if someone runs into his line of sight, for whatever reason, this man does not miss with it. So you're going to be careful as T1, but we can see here for DAMWON Kia, they're going to do the same. Banshee setup upstairs. This is just to delay as much time as you can, but Yeti, he's full steam ahead for the moment.
Absolutely not messing about there. On the Ash, straight in, on the entry, looking for those opening frags, looking to gain the sort of map control that they know they need. Vamos gets in. He's able to open up that master wall, or at least attempt to with the Selma. We see the impact nades coming out from Yas this time on the Malusi, just to clear those Selma devices away and keep that wall reinforced. Katsang it is with the big opener on the Nitro. That is putting all of Pulse's arsenal to maximum use there, just squeezing every opportunity to find a kill out of his operator. And that's what you've really got to do at this level of siege. You've got to be proficient with every gadget and threat in your arsenal. Great start from Katsang.
You know what's even better about that than him being able to, you know, get that kill and be able to spot someone else? I expect someone else to throw a C4 up here or shoot, given that this player of Yeti upstairs is just standing right still. There we go. Thank you very much. Speak it into existence. That's what I like to see. I think the biggest thing was the moment they got the man advantage, they both yeeted themselves back downstairs. They went, nope, we did damage, whether it was from below or not, it doesn't matter. We got the pick, we got the man advantage, and we're going back on the site. See you later. I mean, that's brutal. You can't even trade it. They were out of there that quickly.
It really is, and that's ideal because right now we find ourselves 3 versus 5, 1 minute left to go, and T1 just looking to get any vertical angles they can. Very fortunate Revy there to avoid that explosive and not find himself going into the early grave as well that his teammates have suffered. 11 manages to find one onto Quartered, 4 versus 3, and Team 1 fight their way back in as Replica gets a great headshot through onto Rin, just making that Jaeger suffer the first death of the day. Revy finds a vertical onto Woogie Man. He will not be scared of him and steps in now. 3 versus 2. T1 have made a major swing here in the final stages of this round and given themselves the man advantage, but they still have Katsang and Yas to overcome here, who will be looking to hold it down. There goes Katsang. That's the pulse. It's all down to Yas on the Malusi. 1 versus 3. Time on his side, but the bullets were not as they find his head from Revy, and T1 take their first round on the tertiary site here for DAMWON Kia.
I know I feel I say this every time T1 plays and Revy's popping off, but I cannot tell you what a glow up this man has had. He was a coach and then a player and then a coach, and now he's a player coach. And he's gone through whiplash that I don't think anyone will ever really go through in their professional career inside of esports. And he's come in and been one of the most stable flex frags for T1 after being forced onto the support role last year, almost all of last year. He didn't do well. His stats really reflected that. He comes into this year. If I bring up the stats for APAC as they currently exist, I go all the way down. T1. He's pretty much putting up the same results as 4 other players on his team. 4 other players on his team. And you wouldn't even know that he was struggling last year. Super glow up for Revy.
And the thing is, as player coach, he's leading by example. He's there in that position not only to be the player, but to fulfill that coaching role. And what better example to set than what we are seeing out of Revy so far today. Great round from him, and T1 able to lock down their first round here on Villa against DAMWON Kia. So moving into round number 4, we're going to be heading back to Aviator game again. This is the site that DAMWON Kia were able to lock down and win back in round number 1. If you remember, it all came down to the crossfire of Quartered and Rin. Quartered down by the maps, Rin on the red stairs over to the east, and it was all she wrote.
Unbelievable, the power of that hold there. I'm looking at the defensive lineup now, and it looks to be pretty well the same, and I gotta say it again, it just seems like, for me, DAMWON, they want to keep coming back to something like Villa because they can repeat strategy again and again and again and just fortify it. Every time they find a mistake, they make it better. What was the mistake last play day? Oh, it's Rim peeking over red stairs too aggressively. Okay, we fixed that, no problem. Speaking of fixing it here, Ace, my goodness, Katsang, he's put on the aggressive pedal and he's not taking his foot off.
Katsang just moving away there, living to fight another day. I think that's smart play, just playing his life. He wants to be aggressive, get in the faces of Team 1, prevent them getting into the building. If they can find themselves with 1.5 minutes left here, DAMWON Kia, and they still have Rin established on those red stairs, then it's going to be a big ask for T1. So T1 need to move quickly. They need to get themselves inside the building, and they need to deal with people like Katsang, who right now has just trickled his way back upstairs, and he's just finding himself back on site to start supporting. Now, interestingly, I can't see Rin down on those red stairs this time around, so it looks like DAMWON Kia are just adapting to this T1 attack, which is certainly less focused on the north side at the minute. We've got Revy, we've got Yeti, all down there by those south stairs at the minute, looking to try and clear out the utility. We can see we've got a DAMWON Kia player. Yes, it will be absolutely wedged onto these south stairs at the minute.
You know what was so cool? Rin also transferred all of their utility over towards this study push. T1 have identified that their push over towards red failed miserably. As a result, now you can see them wanting to do a complete main stairs push. Given the time they've got left, I would say, even though they've managed to get Yas off the board, who hasn't been having a good game thus far, unfortunately, the time control that they've got now is way better than when they last pushed Aviator. So far, Ace, it's a success. My problem now is, what do you do with that half opened up wall? What do you do with those yokai drones? Has anyone spotted them out? Where's 11? Can the walls get fully open? It sounds like it. And for me, this looks like a really dangerous round here for DAMWON Kia.
Certainly does, as we've got Yeti there pushing into 90 corridor, but Rin and Katsang step up and do exactly what needs doing for DAMWON Kia, finding themselves 2 kills, just getting aggressive onto that study door and not allowing T1 a second to breathe there. Rin finds another from the gunbolt. What a headshot through onto 11. Yeti goes down and dies as well, and this is all on Vamos, and it will be Vamos, but Vamos, DAMWON Kia, as they find another round. 3-1 now on the board.
They were just feeding Rin there. The whole one angle and thou shall come. And whoo, that was a round that I was so worried for DAMWON Kia. I don't know why I was. I mean, they clearly had that on lock, but you just saw, I mean, I think you said last game or a couple of games ago, there was a team that won 100% of the rounds that they got the first pick on. I mean, that statistic exists for a reason. There's a reason that we used to say, especially in 2019, 2020. It was something that color casters used to say all the time. Watch who gets the first opening kill, because statistically, more than 50% of the time, the team that gets the opening kill will win the round. And that has really carried on as the years have progressed. For me now, I'm worried that even though T1 gets that opening kill, they just can't convert it. And that's a bad thing to have.
It's very true. They've had the opening kill in 2 rounds, round 2, round 4, and not been able to convert either of them. So that's something that they definitely need to focus on. But on the flip side, we can say then in round 3 that they did manage to overcome that. You know, they did take the opening death and still come back and won. But you can't rely on those rounds. You have to take full advantage when it is given to you. Now, looking in towards round 5, we're going to be back to Trophy Statuary. No surprises there. The secondary site for DAMWON Kia, and the other site of the day that they have got a defensive win on. So last time around we had T1 pushing the master and bathroom side, not too much attention paid towards study, and the attack never really seemed to have too much teeth for me.
Everything as per it was last time. They held this as well. Katsang below. T1 will know this. It's not hard to know it as well. I mean, look over to the defensive side. They've only got 1 C4 to play with. And if Katsang's below, you know his entire purpose below there. That's why the barricades are there. That's why he's got Banshees by his side. You're going to have to send multiple people below to deal with him again. But T1, they dispatched him really quickly, I believe, on that round. They did. That was a pitch through Memorial and over towards Pantry and Laundry. So for me, I think they know how to deal with Katsang below. I'm surprised there's no vertical holes from the other defenders to help. And I want to see exactly whether or not they can repeat it here, whether Katsang has some kind of trick under his sleeve.
Katsang just scrambling in and around kitchen and dining there, trying to keep himself mobile, but he knows exactly where he needs to be playing. And for those maybe not too familiar with Villa, the area underneath the site of Trophy and Statuary, you guessed it, it's dining and kitchen. And that is why Katsang is just trying to keep himself in that position, because it'll give him the opportunity for that nitro denial. It'll give him the opportunity to hassle those attackers if they get themselves established inside of Master. But right now, the pressure is going to be on. Revy's moving through and Katsang has to dip, has to move away and move back up Astronomy Stairs. Yas will open us up with a kill onto 11 with a nice headshot there. That takes the Zafir off the board and potentially some very important utility along with him.
That's the reason they open up a line of sight from that left-hand side of that triple wall. And a lot of people were like, huh? Why are they opening this? What's going on? Well, they open that, then they open a little bit of closet. And if anyone bolts on in, it means that they're able to shoot them upon entry. Also able to impact trick above by a very nifty opening here. Good night. Surely that's a sleep type. But Coded, the man cannot be downed almost any time they've tried to use utility against him. But T1, they go, it doesn't matter about utility. We've got guns.
Courted has definitely got some sort of non-stick coating on him today, because everything just keeps sliding off the man. You just can't seem to find the kill. But right now, a couple of kills have gone in, and it is Woogie Man, the last man remaining. 1 versus 3. He steps up, tries to move into 90 corridor, looking to see if he can find an angle, maybe hit T1 on a flank here, but you can see the silhouette to the left-hand side of your screen. He's being watched. They know exactly where he is. He's going to switch to the shot. He finds 1, and that is Big Papa Pump put into brilliant action there to take down Revy. 1 versus 2 now. Woogie Man needs to keep moving here. Replica's getting the diffuser down on the Thatcher. Out goes the Toxic Babe canister. He won't be able to prevent the diffuser being activated now, and that really puts Woogie Man on the back foot. 1 versus 2. He's going to have to find both of these kills if he wants any hope at all of deactivating that diffuser. He's dipping, he's ducking, he's just hiding inside behind the walls. He gets one. That's onto Replica, but shut down by Yeti, who had the cover, had the trade, and T1 locked down another good attacking round, and they are moving up the chain here, Jess. They've taken the tertiary site. Well, they've just taken the secondary site of DAMWON Kia.
All right, finally, T1 is working out what is going on the DAMWON Kia side and applying the strategies appropriately. I will say very clearly, I think they knew exactly the kind of defensive strategy DWG Kia would employ because they've done the same thing they did last Villa Playday. There has been no difference in strategies. And the way they clearly bought the Thatcher, they clearly tried to clear red, and it just didn't work because of the crossfire from Coded. I know that they know how to deal with this, but DAMWON are just making it very, very difficult because every time they play each of these sites, they're fortifying, they're strengthening the strategy, they're filling the mistakes that they're making, and practice makes perfect, Ace. That's really what it is here for DAMWON. So they're just repeating it until it becomes crystal clear and perfect.
Round 6 then, we're going to be heading back to Trophy and Statuary. This time around, DWG Kia are obviously conscious of the previous round, and I'm sure they feel that they can adjust and adapt accordingly to be able to close this one out. They're going to be looking for a 4-2 half, given that they are defending on Villa. I think they'll be disappointed with anything less. Now, Katsang did play below last time, is heading down in that direction once again, but needs to be careful because T1 were fully aware of where the Malusit was playing, and the impact was limited, really.
God, they've really stuck to this. Maybe they're going to bring someone down with Katsang for a crossfire? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, if you're going to stick to something that's really not been working, then you need to tell me what you've adapted to make it work. Looks like Yas will rotate up and Rin will rotate down. Okay, is this the adaptation? Sure, I will happily accept a duo roam below. I will happily accept that because that will work. And I think the attackers continually think that Katsang will be by himself, which he won't be. So this is good. I think this will work.
T1 sending in the drones then, Yeti just gathering the information. Again, very similar sort of rinse and repeat attacking push from T1 here, using the same drones, the same locations as we saw previously, and they just need to be cautious that DWG Kia don't find a way to preempt that. Now, yes, he's going to preempt the movement of Replica there as he removes his head from his shoulders. There'll be no planting this time for the Thatcher, as that brings us into an early 5 versus 4, and another thing that will do is allow Katsang and Rin a little bit of extra time downstairs, because gadgets will not be cleared by the EMPs, but also the manpower for T1 upstairs is now stretched. So they've got a choice. Do we continue with this roam clearance up against 2 defenders and call that one as Yeti finds Rin, or do we dip away and support that top floor attack? And that is the best response that T1 could have had there.
Wow, that is really, really well done there from the attackers. And Revy's really been putting it on lock to give Yeti the freedom to look towards Memorial with complete safety. I think that duo push that T1 with the live drone in front of them they've been employing, it's rather faultless, and as a result, even though I thought that duo roam would work, and oh my god, Coded, he dip, dive, dodges, whatever it's called, he's all over it, and Revy, he's able to get Katsang for it. Unfortunately, Coded will still be back towards the back of Astronomy. He is still there, so they are still trying to get him. He's unbelievably unkillable.
I'm just going to start calling him non-stick coated, because that is absolutely what he is. Yeti will ultimately find him, but not before he takes bodies along with him. Vamos locks down Yas, and that leaves us 2 versus 1 and a tricky situation once again for Woogieman. We saw him get close last time around. A 1v3 came down to a 1v1. This time, it's a 1v2. I don't know why he attempts to go for the toxic bait canister there. He's asking for trouble, but the only thing he does is gives out the trouble to Vamos as he manages to down the man and the diffuser inside a site. Leaves us 1 versus 1 with an age on the clock in terms of this type of scenario. Yeti, lower health, looking to try and challenge Woogieman, but decides instead to just bait out with that diffuser a little bit. Give him the audio cue, let him know that he might play the objective, tries to peek, but Woogieman is on the shotty. Big Popper Pump shuts down the Ash, and that's going to be Woogieman with a great 1v2 clutch for DWG Kia.
Wow, and if he had an ADS then, I don't know whether he would have got the kill at that range either. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, wow, Woogieman, Des and I spoke about him last play day, and we just said he is Mr. Dependable. It's someone that DAMWON Kia has been able to look to, being their back line, a solid foundation. And if things start to go wrong, it's either Coded or Woogieman that's sort of been there to pick up the scraps and make a play out of it, even when they're in a really stressful situation, of which that was a 1vx situation there for Woogieman. Didn't sweat it. Just another day at the office for the man.
Looking up at the top left, we've got the last play days there. That's a nice little graphic that production have worked on for us to just show the form of these teams. And unfortunately, there's a lot of L's on there. We have to comment on it. DAMWON Kia just bookending a couple of wins in there, but just showing a little bit of a lack of consistency. But this performance has been anything but inconsistent so far. Great defending from them, nice adaptation, and they've managed to get themselves an advantage coming into round 7 here, where they're going to be facing up to a T1 defense in Aviator Games.
Wonder whether or not we will see a repeat of the Red Stairs hold, but from T1 this time. Will they take inspiration from Rin in the first half? And with all 3 ADSs spread across the Red Stairs, I'm going to guarantee you it's going to be a yes. Not a single ADS will go anywhere else. And unlike DAMWON Kia, they don't have a Wamai to work with here. So they are putting all of their eggs in one basket, literally. And if DAMWON Kia push the other side, they're going to have to either replace it like Rin tried to in the first half, or they've got nothing else to work with.
Quartered just moving in and taking out that astronomy cam to begin with from the outside. It's a nice little angle that means you don't have to go inside to deny that information. Rin, I imagine, just getting on the drones there to feed some information in, and Woogieman already established out on that study balcony. So far, DAMWON Kia just sort of surrounding the map a little bit. We can see Quartered looking in to move through the main door there, Yash joining as well, and so there's going to be lots of avenues of attack here from DAMWON Kia. I would imagine pressure onto South Stairs. They're going to circumvent those Red Stairs. They don't want to deal with a triple ADS setup. We'll just move up the south instead, try and get control of study. That's how it appears right now.
Well, considering they know the strength of the Red Stairs hold, Rin themselves would absolutely know how strong that hold can be. Why push it? Why push it when you know how absolutely devastating that position can be? I agree with what DWG Kia are doing here. This push, perfect. And guess what? They're wasting a lot of utility on nobody ace, and a drone that could have confirmed that to them. The rotate of the ADSs is what I was talking about before, and because of the delay up those main stairs, it means that they've been able to replace those over towards the study push. My big question now is there anything like a mute jammer, for example, on the wall that will stop them getting the walls open? That'll be the next obstacle.
DAMWON Kia established then at the top of South Stairs, but haven't got control over study yet, so much so that 11 feels comfortable to be taking that peak on as the Rook now. Revy moves in as the Dock, shut down in 90. That's a great opener from Rin, and that leaves us 5 versus 4. Gunvault's going to be opened by Katsang on the ace here. This could spell trouble for T1.
Well, here you go. This is going to be the little bit of an indication to me whether or not Katsang's going to be able to get the other walls open. He's failed on the vault wall. That's okay. No problems. Take your other 2, go to study. If he doesn't, it means that he'll only get surely one of the walls open, as he's begging for those EMPs to come raining out so that he can get something opened up here. I believe Yas might even want to use his other grenade on the wall, and he will. And they're going to decide to open up the side walls on 90 instead. This might be a dangerous choice here.
T1 are stuck in a difficult position here as the rotation through Gunvault has been removed. Katsang takes full advantage of that as the Maestro of Replica tries to move through there. Katsang having a great round, getting a kill onto the I-11 as well with a nice headshot. Rin will be collected back up onto 20 health, leaving us 5 versus 2, but 10 seconds left to go. The clock is on the side of T1 here, but the kills are not, as Yeti is closed down by Yas. Rin also having one just before that to close out the round, and that is going to be DAMWON with their first successful attack here. Great plays from them.
I was convinced by DAMWON Kia back when they were with GC Busan Spear, when I casted the relegations fight for them to even make Tier 1 APAC North. And a lot of people were saying to me, this team, they're the next up-and-comers. They're going to be storming through, APAC North. They might not do it in the first stage, but they're almost there. They're almost going to be one of those great teams. I think they have a really solid foundation. I think there's a couple of players there that aren't quite as consistent on their roles as they should be. I mean, if you go to look at the statistics, unfortunately, players like Katsang, or not even Katsang, who was supposed to be the star player of the team, but players like Rin as well, who plays a really crucial fragging operator, has their moments, but is not consistent enough to put the rating on the board that you would expect of the big fragger. So for me, if those players end up pushing their status and their worth on the team upwards, I think DAMWON Kia will be a really big hitter in the league. It just seems that on the standings right now, if you go have a look at it, they're 6th place. That's not awful. It's their first season. It's their first stage in Tier 1.
It's a good building block, Jess. There's no two ways about it. DAMWON Kia have been an exciting team to watch. I enjoy loading into every match that they play because I know that they're going to show us something. They're going to show us something new. They're developing, they're adapting, and I know that they've got great players that are capable of big, big moments. And right now, they're going to need another big moment here in round 8 as T1 have switched it up. They're going to be defending in trophy and statuary this time. They've decided not to go back to Aviator Games after DAMWON Kia dismantled that last defense. So DAMWON Kia, I am sure, are going to be playing in a very similar way, and that is trying to get in aggressively. We saw them take control of South Stairs last time very, very quickly. I imagine they'll be looking to do the same with Master Bedroom this time.
With a Thatcher in hand on a map like Villa, everything becomes so much easier. And I know that's such an obvious statement, but Villa was one of those maps that used to be so defender-sided because you just couldn't open anything up. I mean, everyone would just ban Thatcher and then you were stuck trying to grenade over or push underneath. If you push underneath, there'd be a defender there waiting for you. You run out of time because the map's so big. I mean, there was just so much complexity to this map with one singular attacking operator ban. And I think now that that is available to the attackers here, the only thing they have to worry about is those impact tricks, which I believe that's going to be Revi's job.
All 5 of DAMWON Kia right now stacking up around the north side of the map there, looking to get control over Bathroom and Master. No major progress or ingress into the map yet, but we are still early in the round. That is not too major a problem. We've got T1 just trying to hold on behind that reinforced wall. Revi here with the potential. As you can see, the hole's already open. Needs to get that impact trick if he's going to go for it, but he allows the Selma to detonate. Just pings it out there, but that could be a little bit risky. I'm sure he will go for the impact trick this time. Takes the Selma down. Needs to be very aware of that foothold that has been opened up.
The reason teams are letting that go now is because the impact actually doesn't have the explosive radius to catch that Selma that low. So they'll let the first one go, and then what they'll do is they'll use it as an opening for them to impact trick from there on out so they don't waste any of their impacts, which is very crucial when you're dealing with 3 whole Selma charges. Katsang only has 1 left, so he needs to conserve it as best he can, and guess what? I mean, Revi has 1 impact left, so you're not going to get the wall open if you don't deal with that impact.
45 seconds left to go, and then DAMWON Kia, just as you say, stalling out a little bit here. And I think the question is revolving around Revi and the Malusi and that one straight impact nade that could well make or break this round right now. Mute Jammer's just denying the opportunity to get into sight and feed back any information here. And with 30 seconds left to go, we've got DAMWON Kia players up on the rooftop trying to rotate and get different angles into sight. This is going to be a big ask in a short space of time here. The push onto red stairs. Yeti finds Yas. 11 finds Rin. They're all going in T1's favour right now. Replica Vamos, a team effort truly, as Refi gets the final onto Katsang, and T1 close out a flawless round, and that is a great defensive trophy statuary, and what a choice to move sites and to not labour too long over Aviator and Games.
It forced half of the DAMWON Kia players to have to rotate their push. And I mean, something as simple as going, oh no, they still have 1 impact. We only have 1 Selma. We don't have enough to work with to open this wall. Then, of course, we might have to rotate around, get a pinch, focus on mechanical skill. I mean, T1, they didn't give a single inch of their bodies towards the attackers at any one given time. They just relied on the walls being closed almost the entire time. That is a brilliant way to play around. I'm not saying that their strategy on that site was superior to the way that DAMWON played that site with, one of the panels opened up with the line of sight. I think they both work in their own ways. I just think that one, when it came down to the simplicity, the minutiae of the round, 1 impact and you win the round, I mean, that is amazing. That's amazing.
Round 9 then, going to be heading down to Dining and Kitchen this time around. An interesting choice for T1, not going back to Aviator Games, even though it's available there. I'm not happy with that one, Jess. They're going to try the bottom floor.
I would too. If I was struggling on my success on another site that quite possibly was unnecessary to repeat, then I might try my luck elsewhere. This one's not a bad site by any means, and if you play it well, especially with a pulse in hand, then things can start to go your way quite well. If they're comfortable with the northern side of the map as well, you got to think that maybe that's just a comfortability option for them as well.
I think it was Katsang that we saw the pulse in the hands of last time around, and it was put to great use. We saw a Nitro kill, so it's time for Replica to step up and show the equal mastery with those explosives. We've got DAMWON Kia now approaching the building quickly. Yash just aware of any potential peek coming out of the basement and approaching from the north side, looking to get some control of that top floor once again. I'm sure they will have soft destruction. They do in the shape of Sledge, and they don't have, oh, they do have the breaching charges on Thatcher as well. So right now, DAMWON Kia, their primary goal, their primary objective, step one in their plan is get in, get control of bathroom, get control of master bedroom, and just rip up the floor throughout. And that includes statuary, it includes astronomy. Try and get the angles down into sight and try and find an early pick.
I'm glad that Medics has zoomed on out because it's a little bit confusing to me. Where are half of the roamers? Where are half of the attackers? Who's droning who in above? Rin, why are you solo pushing in where there's multiple lines of sight from Red? Really long lines of sight, mind you, and the long barrel on the Roni does the job. That's a questionable play, but that's one that can be rectified as long as they get the trade, and the trade they'll get. Woogieman will take the head off, and that's a nice little transition there on the kill feeder. Orange, blue, orange, blue. I like to see it. It's almost like Christmas time again with the flashing lights, and well, they're going to give up. They're just going to push side here. Why not?
It's all lighting up, but the question is who gets to put the star on the top, and right now it looks like DAMWON Kia is coming in with a big kill there from Katsang onto Replica. 3 versus 2, and things are going to start getting a little fraught inside of sight right now as the man advantage and the vertical superiority all sit with the attackers of DAMWON Kia. They find another one, Yas, vertically through the bars onto Vamos, and that leaves us now 1 versus 3. Poor Reve locked inside of sight by the B-bomb here, just trying to hold that angle. The drone will come in, give the information. That's his location. This is not going to get peaked. They will try and find an alternative angle to attack from here. They will try to just find anything they can, any sight whatsoever of Reve as he tries to push through sight. Moves in, the smoke grenade providing cover. Yes! Finds that final kill. Headshot shuts down Reve, and that puts DAMWON Kia on to match point.
I was a little bit wary of them just giving up on that sort of top floor push after they'd had those multiple trades left, right, and center, and they went, stuff it, let's just run through laundry, open up the wall, and see if we can get a player down. That actually ended up working in their favor, and the fact that Revy didn't push upstairs, retake the vertical, or at least the initial bedroom vertical that Sledge had gotten, meant that that vertical was just free as day to be able to kill anyone pushing up towards that laundry door. A bit of a shame, because I thought T1, by going down to that site, they might have picked a winner, but there's just been too many rounds of buffer here for DAMWON Kia. They've had too many rounds of win. It means there's too many rounds consecutively that are needed here from T1 to bring them even into overtime. And with a match point staring them right in the face, that's a lot of pressure.
I think what I like from T1, whilst we can look at this now and say it's reasonably unlikely that they turn this around. They've lost in Aviator Games. They've lost in Dining and Kitchen. They can't spin 3 rounds out of one site. You know, they're going to have to show us something that they haven't done so far. But overall, it answers that question. T1 took 5 rounds off Cloud9, and we were questioning, you know, is that that Cloud9 didn't wake up quickly enough? Was it T1's performance? And I think that we can safely say now that it was T1's performance. They've come in here, they're understanding well, they're developing well, and I like what I see from them.
Well, if DAMWON Gaming Kia win this game, they'll get themselves, or rather win this round or the next 2 rounds after that, they will get a full 3 points. That propels them above Fnatic. It'll also propel them above Fav. In fact, that'll put them in 4th spot on the standings, which is a huge jump up from 6th position. And that's one that I don't think a lot of people would have thought the new challengers from Challenger League would be putting on the scoreboard this early in the stage.
It's great. DAMWON are a real dark horse, and I absolutely love it. Like I say, that unpredictability makes them very exciting to watch. If they can lock down a couple of results that have been tight, if they can even challenge those top teams, they are going to be a force for the future. There's no two ways about it. Now, forcing their way inside of the building, we've got Yas looking to move in through the main door. Rin and Courted both on the ground floor as well, looking to clear out any T1 roamers that might be there. 11 just challenging onto the windows, just applying a little bit of pressure, making DAMWON Kia know that it's not safe to just waltz inside. But Rin has managed to get himself established now, can start to push towards those south stairs. I'm not 100% sure if they're aware of Replica's location, but this is dangerous, Jess. Replica's playing on the Echo and he's getting aggressive right into the face of the attackers. He's going to have to dip away here. They don't want to lose this life. They don't want to lose the Yokai drones this soon. There is definite chip damage there, but yet Replica keeps pushing back, keeps going for the challenge, keeps going for the kill, takes some HP away from Rin, and that just slows DAMWON Kia down that little bit.
How are they letting Replica do this? Replica's holding study ingress and the bottom main stairs ingress from multiple angles. And now there's a smoke, babe. Oh, finally dispatched. Replica, just because you want to replicate that of Coated, you cannot be. What do you call him? What's the nickname for Coated now? I love it, though. Whatever it is.
He's non-stick Coated.
Non-stick Coated. You can't be. Just because you play Echo doesn't mean you can't. You can replicate that. And that was an unintentional play on words there, but what's not unintentional is 2 headshots in a row. It's a quad for 11. Make it an ace, baby. Put it on the board. You see them. It is only Boogeyman left. We've seen Boogeyman clutch before, but this is a tall order. 1v3 match point, staring T1 in the eyes here, and they need to make this a play. Otherwise, they're going to be looking at themselves into match point, and they will keep themselves in the game as 11, the highest rated player in all of T1, the only remaining player on T1 outside of their player coach Revy, will lock it out with an ace, and that one's going into the replay books.
I've got to say it, Jess. T1 have got away with one there for me. 11 has come in and stepped up, as he has done time after time, and performed when the team needed him. Got himself a great ace there. You can't rely on that, though. And for me, throwing Replica into the breach down there on the south stairs as your Echo was a big, big problem, and he was taken out pretty easily by a nade. That's your plant denial gone. And then 11, fair enough, he stepped up and he did what his team needed. But without the ace there, they are in bad shape.
You know what I was just about to say as well? In the previous round, I was going to turn around and say, wow, the usual carry heavy of 11, sitting, you know, I think he was -4 and 7 or whatever his kills was. It doesn't really matter. But to turn around and do an ace, I mean, I believe I can look over to our talent chat right now, and she had said in the background, 11 hasn't had the best game yet, so was also thinking very similar to my thought. And then 11 goes, no problems, girls. Let me put an ace on the board. That's going to put me well into positive. It's also going to put me on the highlight reel for the week, and it puts us back into contention to possibly throw us on a, you know, that overtime. I mean, I'm living for it.
Great round from 11. Slightly questionable from T1 overall, but they got it on the board, and that is what is important. That is what counts, and that leads us into round number 11. T1 cannot afford any mistakes here. If they want the overtime, if they want the opportunity to close out points from this game, it needs to be best foot forward, and they need to be doing everything right every time. This time, they can defend Trophy Statuary. It's the site that previously they won in their rotation, so maybe the odds favour them here.
Well, there is still a lot that T1 could do here. They're only 2 rounds away, and they'll only need to put 2 of those defensive rounds on the board. Mind you, it's not attacking rounds here, and I know that we speak about Villa oftentimes being defensive-sided, and I do have to look over to T1 and see on this map specifically, or even just overall, they're a highly defensive-sided team. They only win about 38% of all of their attacking rounds, compared to like an almost 50% of their, actually it's almost 60% of their defensive rounds. So T1 is a highly defensive team. If there is rounds to get back, it's on this side.
And I'm sure that they will be making every effort that they can. Out goes the first Selma from Katsang. That will open up the low area of that wall. As we discussed, it's difficult to get that one cleared off, so that will be successful. Rin looking to move into the lower floor there, just concerned about any potential roamers. 11 out in the 90 corridor does have a number of options to be able to traverse from floor to floor there if he wishes to do so, keep himself unpredictable. Now, Kota just going to ping out that shield that's being played inside of Astronomy. I mean, it's pretty much a given at this point. You would expect for it to be there, but it still needs to be dealt with nonetheless. Yas just looking to see if he can get an angle into sight from Master Bedroom there. But so far, 5 versus 5 and so slow in this round.
Yeah, the calm before the storm, really, I feel. I think for T1, they don't need to overextend here. They've got every bit of crossfire they need. Look at 11 and Rin, I believe, over Rin. Yeti over towards... I just keep saying Jaeger. I keep thinking Rin. There you go. Never going to stop me. If you look at a red stairs, it's either Rin or Shaiko in my mind. This time it's going to be Yeti. And they've got that area of ingress, which was done late by DAMWON in the past. DAMWON Kia usually pushes that quite late. So that's why they're focused on there rather than bedroom. My problem is they have no grenades left. They haven't dealt with the person impact tricking. And now, again, they're just trying to Hail Mary through multiple ADSs. That's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen.
Vamos locking them down with those Toxic Babe canisters going into bathroom. Vamos right now is all that stands between DAMWON Kia and the push onto site, and he's doing a great job. He is absolutely rock solid. Shots come from below, and ultimately he does get closed down by Katsang, but with only 15 seconds left to go, DAMWON Kia, they've got a lot more questions that they need to find answers to, and yes, he will find one in the shape of a headshot onto 11. Woogieman gets involved in the action. 5 versus 2. 5 seconds left to go. Katsang is in and getting that diffuser down. That will extend the timer, but Yeti able to make a challenge. Shut down with a trade from Yas, and that is going to be the match for DAMWON Kia. What a great performance from them on Villa, but T1, you get an honourable mention because they have been impressive today.
Honourable mention or not, Ace, this does not take away from the fact that DAMWON will put their first proper win on the board. They've made wins in overtime, but that doesn't give them the full 3 points. So they will put their first official max win on the board for them, and they'll move up in the standings, like we said, from 6th place all the way up into 4th place. And a little bit more of a sour note to this